Why is AMD still an amazing buy? Why? Well, in this video, what I want to do is give you 3 reasons as to why this is the case. And now that people are seeing, especially today, AMD just crossed 500 new all-time highs. So many people are thinking, the ones that haven't bought, that it's late to buy now. AMD has already made its run, this and that. And I'm going to give you 3 reasons as why that's not the case, why you're still early. And if you haven't bought any, why you should be still buying. So I want to give you 3 reasons. The first one, it's going to be the most important one. The first one will be the most important one. And it simply is running your base case and your bull case. And what I mean by this is, when you run your base case or bull cases, you're still getting at least 20% growth per year for the next 4 to 5 years by 2030. Now, when you compare that to the S&P 500, that's really good growth year over year. That's still really, really, really good. Now, when you run your base case numbers, let's say they grow revenue 35 to 40% for the next 4 to 5 years. That would mean we all have, are all projections, but if you're smart, you're going to arrive to the same conclusion. If they grow 35 to 40% revenue growth for the next 4 to 5 years, that would mean usually the stock will grow about 20 to 22, 23% per year for the next 4 to 5 years. Ideally until it reaches, let's say for our base case, between 900 and somewhere to 1100. That's assuming that AMD keeps growing revenue 35 to 40%. Which is pretty good. You're growing 20% per year. Your AMD shares are growing 20% per year. You're still beating the S&P by a lot. You're beating the markets by a lot, which is really good. Now, with the bull case, if AMD can grow revenue 40% a year or higher, 40% plus, maybe 45, 50%, now we're talking about numbers that AMD could reach maybe even anywhere between 1500 15 and 2100 price per share for in the next 4 to 5 years, which would mean that you would be growing, your position in AMD would be growing about 30-40% per year compared to the S&P that grows on average about 10 to 11% per year, which is insane. That's really, really good. If you're smart, those are odds that you should want to take. You should want to take, but the math is just mathing. The math is mathing. Now, my second reason as to why you should buy AMD is simply the MI450 numbers. Now, the MI450 numbers, I think they're either coming out late this summer or by the end of the year, somewhere around that time frame. Now, what's the deal with the MI450? The MI450 should be, I can't guarantee this, but should be the first chip that is just as good as NVIDIA H200s and their H series. They should be just as good as those, if not better. So far, NVIDIA's chips they're a level above everyone else. There's nothing like it in the whole world. Now, for the first time ever, we should be getting a chip finally by another company that is just as good, if not better. They will be insane. Wall Street hasn't done a good job of calculating this, measuring this, calculating this. They'll be caught by a surprise, and we'll still see a whole leg of the AMD stock going up. And speaking of NVIDIA and their amazing chips, and Wall Street not knowing that this is coming at all is it's really pricing. So what used to happen is NVIDIA kind of has a monopoly over the market with their chips. So I'm just speaking out of my ass here, but let's say if we have one of their chips that's usually worth around $900, they could charge, and they do charge 5 times higher, like $4,400, $5,000 per chip when it's really worth, let's say, $900. And they could do that because you have nowhere else to go as a business. You want the top of the top, the best chips. You have nowhere else to go. You cannot buy a chip as such from another company. So NVIDIA kind of has a monopoly over the market. I'm assuming these other businesses, that their customers, they don't like this. They don't want to spend such money per chip. So now, I hope you can see where I'm going with this. A solution is coming. We have it just as good of a chip, but it's not gonna cost. It's not gonna have a crazy price like so far with NVIDIA. And NVIDIA either keeps their prices or they're gonna be forced to bring them a little down, a little lower to a more reasonable thing. But so far, NVIDIA has created a market where people are willing to spend 5, 6, 7 times more for a premium world-class chips. And they created a market for this where now AMD can sell it for much higher, for 2, 3 times its worth really than what it should be. So it's amazing. I don't think Wall Street has calculated this. I don't think they've really done a lot of math on this. And I mentioned MI450 numbers are coming by the end of the year, somewhere around fall, winter. But by the time the MI500 numbers come out next year, oh boy, watch out. Now, my third reason as to why you should be buying AMD, why you're just in time, you're not late, is, and the US and Iran deal is pretty much coming. This deal is coming. When this deal does come, and when those things slow down, all of these tech and AI stocks will get a boost. We'll get a decent enough boost, and they will go up by a significant amount as a result of this war thing ending and them reaching a deal. Now the rumors are, the thing is, this deal could be even coming as by the end of this week, a US and Iran deal. Things do seem like they're coming to an end. Now we have less and less question marks about stuff. So that deal is coming, supposedly by the end of this week. So we'll see. But you want to get in front of that before that happens, just to not miss those gains. So those are my reasons for you. The first one being the most important one, just the math is mathing. Just do your own math and see if it maths. And you're going to see that it's mathing. So I'll see you in the next video.